Welcome to an in-depth analysis of the role and development of school funding in Swedish education. We will explore regulations, consequences, and future improvements. Our journey begins with an introduction to school funding, followed by its historical development, regulations, and municipal applications. We will also discuss economic consequences, comparisons between public and private schools, and the challenges faced. Further, we will delve into the effects on student choice, notable negative impacts, proposed regulatory improvements, and international comparisons. Finally, we will summarize and provide recommendations. School funding is a financial model where resources are allocated based on the number of students. It aims to ensure equal conditions between public and private schools, allowing students to choose and promote school choice. The historical development of school funding began in 1992 with reforms to increase school choice. Significant milestones include adjustments for socio-economic factors in 2001, and recent increases in resource allocation and teacher salaries. The regulatory framework for school funding includes legislation and regulations, resource distribution, and the financing model. These elements ensure fair distribution and equal conditions for all schools. Municipalities apply the regulations by distributing resources to both public and private schools, determining annual base amounts, comparing additional amounts, and managing variations in implementation. Economic consequences of school funding include that 65% of the funding goes to personnel costs, and there is a hypothetical increase of 40% in costs due to higher demand for school choice. Comparing public and private schools, public schools often lose significant funding and face resource allocation challenges, while private schools increase competition and may lead to higher costs per student for public schools. Challenges with school funding include economic strain on public schools, difficulties in student distribution, long-term planning issues, cost structures, and maintaining educational quality. Effects on student choice include increased access to schools, differences in educational levels based on parental background, and demographic disparities in school selection. Notable negative impacts include increased segregation, school closures in rural areas, financial strain on municipalities, and difficulties in assessing negative outcomes. Proposed improvements to the regulations include revising the funding model, establishing clearer rules for resource distribution, and implementing regular evaluations of the funding system. International comparisons show that while Sweden aims for equal conditions between public and private schools, other countries focus on reducing educational disparities and supporting public schools. In summary, we highlight the increased school choice, inefficiencies in current regulations, and propose a more effective funding model. Specific recommendations and the importance of long-term data are also discussed.